Hey, what up, guys? Coming to you this morning, gonna discuss my January record, the wins and losses. I told you I was gonna start paying attention more to how I'm doing in terms of my picks for each fight. Because you know what? I like to think that I know what I'm talking about, and I like you guys to think that I know what I'm talking about. So, at least for the most part. So, I took a look at all the picks that I made on the weekend previews. And I went 7-3 overall in the month of January. So 70%, 7-3. I'm going to take a look at my wins first. I had, on January 11th, I had Jaime Munguia pull off the win over Spike O'Sullivan. No surprise there. I'm not really patting myself on the back for that one. I picked him, and he was the favorite. Then on the 18th, I had Chris Colbert on the undercard beat Jezreel Corrales. I know Colbert was the undefeated favorite going in, but I really didn't know Colbert too well, and that's the truth. I was just going with the youth and his record coming in. So, I'm happy with him performing and dominating the way he did. But that one I wasn't super confident in that pick. Just letting everybody know. Eliter Alvarez knocked out Michael Seals, also on the 18th on ESPN. No surprise there, he came in the favorite. No surprise that he got the win. And then January 25th, the Showtime doubleheader, Danny Garcia beat Ivan Redkach. I picked that. No surprise. I'm not patting myself for that one. Also, Jarrett Hurd beat Francisco Santana on the undercard. Not patting myself on the back for that one either. On January 30th, we had Demetrius Andrade stopped Luke Keeler. No surprise there. I picked that one, no surprise. But my pick of the month also happened on the 30th on the undercard, and that was the Joseph Diaz 12-round unanimous decision over Tevin Farmer. I'm going to give myself a little credit on that one because most boxing experts were saying that Tevin Farmer was going to beat Joseph Diaz, that he was a clear favorite going in. I didn't see it that way. I thought the entire time, even before the fight got made, I felt Joseph Diaz was the better fighter and he was going to beat him. Now, the detractors to this can say, hey, well, Tevin Farmer broke his hand in the first round. That's why he lost. Okay, maybe that's true. Nonetheless, I did pick Joseph Diaz to win the fight, and it was a closer fight than people expected it to be. Got the win. And, going into a straight-up fight, one-on-one, I still think Joseph Diaz is the better fighter. That's not to say he's going to win the rematch, but I still think he's the better fighter than Tevin Farmer. So, I'm going to pick him if they do rematch, which Tevin Farmer says he's going to have an immediate rematch with Joseph Diaz. So, we'll see what happens when the rematch happens. But that is my pick of the month right there, is Joseph Diaz Jr. over Tevin Farmer to win the IBF Super Featherweight title. Now we're going to look at my 3 losses, and I do judge myself harshly on all the losses that, the fights I get wrong. So the first one was on January 11th. It was actually the first fight of the month I got wrong, which is funny to me. But it was a 50-50 kind of fight. That's Jesse Hart losing a decision to Joe Smith Jr. At light heavyweight. I picked Jesse Hart to win this fight, and he was the favorite to win this fight. But I did say that Joe Smith is a very tough fighter and that he could pull this fight off. So, I don't like getting the fight wrong, but on the flip side, I did say Joe Smith was a live underdog coming in, and I didn't feel like he was an overwhelming underdog. And really, Joe Smith's skill didn't beat Jesse Hart. It was his will that beat him. He's big, he's strong, and he kind of just put his used his strength against Jesse Hart to outwork him and get that clean decision. So, I didn't think it was going to be that one side of a loss for Jesse Hart, but, hey, I did think it could be close and that Joe Smith could pull off the win. Now, the next fight I got wrong was Jason Rosario's 5th round TKO of Julian J. Rock Williams to win the Super Welterweight title at 154. That was on January 18th at main event at a Fox card. I'm not really going to kick myself in the ass on this one either because nobody picked Jason Rosario to beat Julian J. Rock Williams. None of the experts did. J-Rock was coming off a win over Jarrett Hurd, who was the undefeated and shut down #1 prior to J-Rock. So nobody thought Jason Rosario was going to beat J-Rock Williams. Everybody picked J-Rock in that one. So that was a major upset. And, not going to kick myself in the ass for that one. And then the third fight that I lost was on January 30th on a DAZN undercard when Daniel Rahman lost the unified super bantamweight titles, which is 122, to Mirajan Akhmadaliev. Now, this is another one. I'm not going to kick myself in the ass too much for a couple reasons. One, I did say Akhmadaliev could pull off the upset in this one. I did say he was a live underdog, going in. So it's not like I blew that off and said, oh, no, this is going to be, a shutdown for Daniel Rahman. No, I said Akhmadaliev had a great amateur record, was an Olympian. He could pull it off. I felt like he didn't have enough experience at 7-0 going into the fight to pull off the win. But then again, Daniel Rahman hadn't fought in 9 months. So I did think Mirajan Akhmadaliev was a live underdog. And he got a very close split decision win. So, I wasn't too far off. I did kind of say on 2 of the 3 losses that an upset could happen, that I did think the other guy was a live underdog and it was a close fight to call. So, going to give myself a little bit of credit for those 2 losses. And I'm not going to kick myself in the ass on the J-Rock Jason Rosario fight because that was it was a major upset. But on my wins, again, I'm not saying I'm wise, to any kind of level. I do feel I know boxing on most of my wins in January. I'm not going to give myself credit for it because most of them, the guys were the straight up favorite and they should have won the fight. I give a little credit on the Colbert win because, I didn't really know who he was. I went with record and youth over the veteran Jezreel Corrales. But I am going to give myself a little bit of credit on Joseph Diaz over Tevin Farmer, but not too much because Tevin Farmer did injure his hand in the first round, so that can change the tide of a fight right there. So, 7-3, not a bad record. 70% is what I'm starting off with. Hopefully, February is better, and we'll reconvene at the beginning of March, and I'll let you know how I did and how I'm doing overall going forward. So hope you guys enjoyed this new series right here of my, picks of the month and my overall record. And, go ahead and feel free to comment. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.